This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a special program on significance of World Dairy Summit 2022.
Achieving a steady growth with time is what India proves today. After a long time of 48 years, India is hosting the World Dairy Summit, organized by the International Dairy Federation (IDF). Let's hear what International Dairy Federation has to say about India's tremendous growth in dairy sector.
Legend has it that the churning of the ocean brought forth the drink of immortality in India. The history of dairy in the Indian subcontinent goes back roughly 8,000 years. Ancient Indian scriptures refer to milk as one of the main elements of a typical Indian diet. Ayurveda, a form of alternative medicine practiced in India, recommends daily consumption of milk due to its digestive properties. Today, India is the world's largest milk producer for over 2 decades. Not to mention, the largest consumer too, with more state-of-the-art infrastructure required to handle milk produced. India will also be a big market for dairy and allied businesses. The White Revolution in the 70s made India self-sufficient in milk. The dairy model in India is different from those in other parts of the world. India's dairy farmers are small landless farmers, owning a few animals, for whom dairy is the only source of income. So milk in India served as a resource to not just nourish, but also support the livelihood of millions of farmers. Moreover, dairy has empowered over 10 million women, where their husbands work the farm, while they take care of the dairy farming, helping them achieve economic independence and become breadwinners for their families. Being a cash crop, milk provides natural support against the vagaries of nature, where the farmer's income continues despite distressing conditions. In an agrarian economy like India, milk plays a vital role in doubling the farmer's income. Today, India raises a glass of milk to good health and prosperity by proudly hosting the International Dairy Federation's World Dairy Summit 2022 at Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated International Dairy Federation World Dairy Summit today, being organized at the India Expo Center and Mart in Greater Noida. In the inaugural address, Prime Minister Modi pointed out that unlike other developed countries of the world, the driving force of the dairy sector in India is small farmers. PM Modi said that India's dairy sector is characterized by production by masses more than mass production. The PM said that India is the largest milk producing country on the basis of the efforts of these small farmers with 1, 2 or 3 cattle. In his speech, PM also mentioned that as compared to the 2% production growth at the global level, India is clocking the milk production rate at more than 6%.
विश्व के अन्य विकसित देशों से अलग भारत में डेयरी सेक्टर की असली ताकत छोटे किसान है। भारत के डेयरी सेक्टर की पहचान मास प्रोडक्शन से ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन बाय मासिस की है। भारत में डेयरी सेक्टर से जुड़े अधिकांश किसानों के पास या तो 1 पशु है, 2 है या 3 पशु है। इन्हीं छोटे किसानों के परिश्रम और उनके पशुधन की वजह से आज भारत पूरे विश्व में सबसे ज्यादा दुग्ध उत्पादन करने वाला देश है।
On the occasion, Union Minister Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying Purushottam Rupala said that World Dairy Summit 2022 has been organized after 48 years in India. Our milk production is 220 million tons today. We are in the position to export surplus milk in line with the Atmanirbhar Bharat.
जो 74 में दूध उत्पादन हो रहा था वो हमारी मांग के अनुरूप में कम था और आज हम एक्सपोर्ट करने की स्थिति में हैं। सो संपूर्ण आत्मनिर्भर अंग के रूप में आज आप यहाँ इस समिट की अध्यक्षता कर रहे हैं, बड़े गरिमा का विषय है।
World Dairy Summit is an annual congregation of the global and Indian dairy industry, the farmers, suppliers, experts and policymakers involved in this sector. This 4-day-long World Dairy Summit from September 12th to September 15th will have 24 sessions centered around the theme dairy for nutrition and livelihood. Milk and all dairy products have been synonymous with nutrition and good health since ages. Milk is a near complete food and rich source of important nutrients such as proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals in biologically available form. The nutritional supremacy of milk is an ever-evolving phenomena. Also, dairying as an occupation provides livelihood and economic resilience to millions of people across the world through large dairy farms as well as smallholder systems. The role of dairying in ensuring food and nutritional security is evident. Thus, there is an increasing need amongst the policymakers to view dairying as the nucleus of many allied activities and their positive impact on society. On the importance of a World Dairy Conference being held in India after nearly 50 years, the President of the International Dairy Federation, Pier Cristiano Brezza, said that we are now stronger, wiser and better. Brezza said, "I believe that the Indian dairy industry is ready to overcome any obstacle in their way under the dynamic leadership of PM Modi." We also mentioned that the Indian dairy sector is progressing highly towards delivering safe and sustainable dairy products, making the nation the leading producer in the world.
We are so happy to be in India for this year's summit, considering that India is the largest producer of milk and considering the important role of milk in India's culture and economy. It makes perfect sense to bring our worldwide dairy community here for this timely learning and networking event. I would like to finish by thanking the National Dairy Development Board of India and the organizing committee, as well as to all the people that worked for almost a year for the fantastic job they have done in making this World Dairy Summit possible. I also would like to extend a big thanks to Honorable Prime Minister and authorities and all participants in the summit. Enjoy the summit, enjoy dairy.
In the World Dairy Summit, 3 parallel technical sessions would be held for which more than 150 overseas and Indian speakers have been impaneled. A poster session has been organized with the theme Innovations Across Dairy Value Chain, aligning with UN SDGs. IDF is the leading source of scientific and technical expertise for all stakeholders of dairy chain. Since 1930, IDF's network of dairy experts has provided a mechanism for the dairy sector to reach global consensus on how to help feed the world with safe and sustainable dairy products. A recognized international authority in the development of science-based standard of the dairy sector, IDF has an important role to play in ensuring the right policies, standards, practices and regulations who are in place to ensure the world's dairy products are safe and sustainable. The summit has also a section where India will showcase its transformational journey in the dairy industry, the evolution of the dairy sector in India and the stellar role played by the dairy cooperatives since the launch of Operation Flood. Today India contributes 21% to global milk production. During the 1950s and 1960s, the situation of India's dairy sector was radically different as it was a milk deficit nation and depended more on imports. The country produced less than 21 million tons of milk per annum, despite having the largest cattle population in the world, and the sector was struggling to survive. Statistically, the annual compound growth rate in milk production during the first decade after independence was 1.64%, which declined to 1.15% during the 1960s. Whereas in the 1950 and 51, per capita consumption of milk in the country was only 124 grams per day. By 1970, this figure had dropped to 107 grams per day, one of the lowest in the world and well below the minimum recommended nutritional standards. India overcame these challenges after the active participation of women in the dairy business and industry. Prime Minister Modi also highlighted this active presence of women in the dairy sector. PM Modi pointed out that women have a 70% representation in the workforce in India's dairy sector. According to stats, with 8.5 lakh crore rupees, the dairy sector is more than the combined value of wheat and rice. This is all driven by the woman power of India.
भारत के डेयरी सेक्टर की असली कर्णधार विमेन्स हैं, महिलाएं हैं। इतना ही नहीं, भारत के डेयरी कोऑपरेटिव्स में भी 1/3 से ज्यादा सदस्य महिलाएं ही हैं। आप अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं, भारत में जो डेयरी सेक्टर 8.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए का है, जिसकी वैल्यू धान और गेहूं के कुल प्रोडक्शन से भी ज्यादा है, उसकी ड्राइविंग फोर्स भारत के ग्रामीण क्षेत्र में रहने वाली महिलाएं हैं, हमारी माताएं हैं, हमारी बेटियां हैं। मैं वर्ल्ड डेयरी समिट से जुड़ी सभी महानुभावों से भारत की नारी शक्ति की इस भूमिका को रिकॉग्नाइज करने, इसे विभिन्न वर्ल्ड प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर ले जाने का भी मैं आग्रह करूंगा।
In the past, Minesh Shah, Chairman National Dairy Development Board, said, "We are continuously working on improving the productivity of animals. India is the largest milk producer, which is because we have the largest number of animals. But on productivity per animal, we are behind several other countries. We need to increase the productivity of the cattle through collective efforts, and we will be eyeing to overcome this challenge in the discussions of World Dairy Summit 2022. Over the past 2 decades, India's milk production has doubled. The credit also goes to a well-known federation called Amul, which was created by 3.6 million producers in Gujarat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reiterated that there is such a huge network of dairy cooperative in India, and one cannot find such an example in the whole world. Shri Modi said that these dairy cooperatives collect milk twice a day from about 2 crore farmers in more than 2 lakh villages in the country and deliver it to the customers. Prime Minister Modi drew everyone's attention to the fact that there is no middleman in the entire process and more than 70% people are benefited by it.
आज भारत दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा दूध उत्पादक है, जिसमें गुजरात की बहुत बड़ी हिस्सेदारी है। बीते सालों में डेयरी सेक्टर तेजी से बढ़ भी रहा है और ग्रामीण अर्थव्यवस्था में ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट भी कर रहा है। आज भारत एक साल में लगभग 8 लाख करोड़ रुपए का दूध उत्पादन करता है। 8 लाख करोड़ रुपए का दूध, और प्रमुखतया ये कारोबार ज्यादातर हमारी माताएं बहनें संभालती हैं। बीते दशकों में गुजरात में अगर गांवों में अधिक समृद्धि देखने को मिली है, तो उसका एक बहुत बड़ा कारण डेयरी सेक्टर से जुड़े कोऑपरेटिव्स रहे हैं।
The contribution of the steps taken by the government and the dairy industry over the past years and how milk production in India went up by 44% is notable. A walkthrough of the 3D audio-visual experience zone will showcase the evolution of the Indian dairy industry and its accomplishments. Today, India has around 24% global share of milk production with an output of 210 million tons per annum. It provides empowerment opportunities to more than 8 crore people engaged in this sector. The World Dairy Summit this year has received an overwhelming response. Around 1,500 participants from 50 countries, including the United States of America, France, Germany, Canada, New Zealand, and Belgium have enrolled for participation. The main sponsors of the event are Amul from Gujarat, Nandini from Karnataka, along with Mother Dairy from New Delhi. Other sponsors include dairy cooperative federations, milk producer companies, private dairies, dairy equipment manufacturers. It is expected that the summit will help raise awareness about the role played by different stakeholders, share the evidence-based practices and success stories, and address the challenges which can help meet the demand of dairy products across the globe. In concluding the address, PM reiterated that India is working on a digital system which will capture the end-to-end activities of the livestock sector. This will provide accurate information needed to improve the dairy sector.
भारत डेयरी पशुओं का सबसे बड़ा डेटाबेस तैयार कर रहा है। डेयरी सेक्टर से जुड़े हर पशु की टैगिंग हो रही है। आधुनिक टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से हम पशुओं की बायोमेट्रिक पहचान कर रहे हैं। हमने इसे नाम दिया है पशु आधार। पशु आधार के जरिए पशुओं की डिजिटल आइडेंटिफिकेशन की जा रही है, जिससे उनकी सेहत पर नजर रखने के साथ साथ डेयरी प्रोडक्ट से जुड़े मार्केट को विस्तार देने में मदद मिलेगी।
The World Dairy Summit will put forward the work that is being done around the world regarding many such technologies. PM Modi also urged everyone present to suggest ways to share the expertise related to this field.
You were listening to a special program on significance of World Dairy Summit 2022. This program was scripted and narrated by Omvesh Upadhyay and produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on Air.